Hello again, and welcome back to the composition vlog. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I last filmed, and it's been a very busy 2 weeks, I have to say, to the extent that there's really only been about 4 days effective work time in that period. We've had a workshop day with Lee Anderson, rehearsal, we had our own gig. Then Josh and I went up to Cambridge where we gave a presentation at a study day, and I did a performance of Edge. I've had 2 days in Bath. There's been a whole lot going on. Yeah, so it's been tight for time, but I have managed to find some time in the studio with the viola, which has been really helpful. Just playing through the piece has led to a lot of refinements, and I think I showed you last time the score, for want of a better word, that I used in the performance at Snape a couple of weeks back. So I've been scribbling all over that over successive versions now. So the pencil was the things that I took away from the video of that performance. The red is one rehearsal, the purple is another, and yeah, there have been a lot of changes, but it's been good. There's a new point of deviation. I've been working with ideas of stretching and compressing the material. And overall, I think there's just a clearer idea of what goes in there and how one thing relates to another. Yeah, I've had to think through some research issues with Quiet Songs to sort out some, well, I guess they're sort of structural or conceptual problems with the piece. In particular, I've been thinking about personas, sort of who am I on screen, who am I on stage, why are there multiple me's on the screen, how does it all fit together? And really usefully, I've been thinking also about the role of the live voice as it relates to the voice on screen and the viola parts as well. And that's been really, really helpful with trying to sort things out. That's led to some other experiments. I've kind of come to a point where I feel that the voice on stage has an ease to it which isn't apparent in the voice on screen, which is those sounds that I was making were very constrained, very constricted, quite strangled in places, and it didn't feel quite right to be doing those same sounds on stage as well, like I did in the Snape performance. I felt that sat uncomfortably. I didn't quite understand myself what was going on there. It didn't seem to have a reason to it. So I'm feeling that the voice on stage needs to be a lot looser, and yeah, that just gives it more of a feeling of being a separate thing, being an enlargement perhaps, or a development of what's going on screen. So I did some tests with that, sort of thinking sort of more ways of loosening these sounds up, and so things like what I call the miscellaneous sounds, which are very sort of lips, teeth, tongues? I've only got one. Lips, teeth, tongue. And so taking that sort of unvoiced sound and then putting voice through it, actually sort of singing a note while I'm making those sounds. And tinkering about with some other sounds too, and finding more open ways of creating those sounds, sort of variants. And I'm a lot happier with this, and with the voice being looser, more controlled, and less constrained, really, in live performance. So I feel that's really progressed the piece a lot, actually. That's been a huge help. As you'll notice from the score changes, there have been a lot of fine detail changes. I had an ongoing niggling dissatisfaction with the amount of tremolo in the piece, but just playing through it and sort of tinkering about with those sounds, I've kind of come to terms with that, and different ways of dealing with it that I'm quite happy with, different ways of also connecting that material to the video, which I think are working well. I've settled on a single colour palette, which I'm quite pleased with. I don't know that it's the colour palette to end all colour palettes. Yeah, I don't know that there is a perfect colour palette for this, but it's doing the job I want it to do. I'm quite happy with it. It may change, but equally I'm perfectly happy with it now. So that's the least of my problems right now. I've also improved how I'm doing the colour flashes, so from a technical point of view that's working much better. They're more consistent in style, and I can make changes to the video much more easily, because before I was taking little chunks of wherever the video was at and colouring it individually, whereas now it's just like a flat colour panel that's overlaid on the existing black and white video below, so I can just move things around now and then just whack a panel of colour over the top and it'll all work perfectly. Hurrah! The next couple of weeks are also insanely busy. We're off to, well, Edward, Tim and I are off to Aldeburgh on Friday, where we're going to be on BBC Radio 3's The Verb programme, live from Aldeburgh Festival. We're going to do some stuff with Tim's and be talking about language with them, so that's going to be fun. And then next week we go to Oslo, and then it's Aldeburgh Festival time and the premiere of Quiet Songs. So I have about 2 days to finish this piece, because I really don't want to be composing or changing anything in the 2 days I have between Aldeburgh Trip 1 and Oslo. I just want to be learning it. I'm a little bit concerned about what the 3 days in Oslo directly before Aldeburgh Festival means for my ability to actually memorise this piece and do the whole thing without a score. I do plan to do it without a score, but equally I'm just aware that it'll be 3 days without the viola, 3 days of being involved in other pieces, and just, yeah, that distance, I'm a bit worried about it. So I think what I'm going to do is hedge my bets, and I will make a performance score, which, if nothing else, will provide something for me to mentally rehearse from while I'm in Oslo. And yeah, just to know that I've got that there if I do freak out and suddenly can't remember how it goes. Yeah, it'll be an option that I don't plan to take up. So that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you've got any comments or questions, please leave them below. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.